Welcome to the Architecture Woodshop and Digital Fabrication Lab on the Marietta campus of Kennesaw State University. This video is about using a drill press. We will cover the proper setup for safe and accurate drilling. Selection of the appropriate drill bit for the type of material to be drilled and the type and size of the hole to be drilled is covered in a separate video on drill bits. At the end of this video, you will have learned how to set up a drill press and secure your material in order to safely drill your material. A drill press is used to drill holes, either stopped or through holes in different materials. The drill press can be used to drill the following materials: wood and wood-like products, plastic and plexiglass, and some other metals. Ask the shop staff before drilling metals. If you have questions about the material you want to drill, please ask a staff person first. Now we're ready to take a closer look at the drill press. As the name implies, a drill press is a combination of a drilling mechanism and the ability to press that drilling mechanism into material. The parts of the drill press are the following: a base that is solid and heavy, a table where the material is placed during drilling, the head of the drill press, which contains the motor that drives the drill, the chuck that holds the drill bit, the depth stop that can be used to limit the range of travel of the chuck, the handles that are used to press the chuck into the material and drill the hole. A vertical column ties these parts together and aligns them with each other. It is important to properly set up the drill press for safe drilling. For users, setting up the drill press usually means loading the bit into the chuck, adjusting the table height if necessary, securing the material to be drilled to the table, and setting the depth stop if drilling holes of a limited depth. Those are the only adjustments that you'll need to make to use the drill press for typical drilling operations. If you feel that other adjustments need to be made to the drill speed, the table angle, or the position of the table under the chuck, please ask a staff member to make any necessary adjustments for you. Dust collection while using a drill press is very difficult. So instead of collection during drilling, dust collection becomes cleanup after the drilling is completed. When installing a drill bit in a chuck, you should follow these guidelines. For larger bits, insert about 1 inch of the shaft of the bit into the jaws of the chuck. When using small bits, never insert the bit so far that the jaws of the chuck touch the flutes or grooves of the bit. Make sure that the bit is centered in the chuck before tightening the chuck. If the shaft of the bit has flat spaces on it, the jaws should be gripping on the flats, not the larger round part of the shaft. To insert a bit into the chuck, first determine how much of the bit to insert into the chuck and hold the bit with your fingers positioned to limit bit insertion to that point. Insert the bit into the jaws of the chuck, making sure that the bit is positioned in the center of the jaws. For a keyless chuck, like the one in the Powermatic drill press, rotate the lower ring of the chuck with the other hand to close the jaws of the chuck gradually until they are tight enough to hold the bit without it falling out. Then grab the 2 rings of the chuck by hand and rotate them in opposite directions in order to tighten the chuck on the bit. For a keyed chuck, like the one in the Jet drill press, rotate the ring of the chuck by hand to close the jaws of the chuck gradually until they are tight enough to hold the bit without it falling out. Then insert the chuck key fully into one of the holes in the side of the chuck and turn the key clockwise to tighten the chuck on the bit. In order to drill cleaner holes that are splinter-free, place a sacrificial piece of scrap under the material to be drilled. The sacrificial material should be as large as, or preferably larger than, the material you are drilling, so that it provides good, solid support. In order to adjust the table height of the drill press, loosen the table locking handle, turn the table elevating crank to raise or lower the table on the column rack to the desired level, then retighten the locking handle before beginning to drill. The height of the table should be adjusted so that the chuck is not extended out of the head of the drill press any more than necessary during the drilling operation. After loading the drill bit into the chuck, place the sacrificial piece and the material to be drilled on the table. Adjust the table height so that the point of the drill bit is just above the surface of the material you will be drilling. Remember to tighten the locking handle so that the table does not move during the drilling operation. If you need to drill a hole that does not go all the way through the material, we recommend that you use the depth stop functionality of the drill press. With the press turned off, advance the drill down to the desired depth. Marking that depth on the side of the material is a good reference. Move the top nut of the depth stop down until it contacts the collar on the side of the drill press head. Verify that the nut will now limit the travel of the drill to the desired hole depth. You should always secure the workpiece so that it is not torn from your hands while performing the drilling operation. Clamping the material on the table of the drill press is usually the easiest way to secure it. If you have difficulty with securing the material that you intend to drill, please ask a staff member for help. If for any reason you think that the drill press needs additional setup or adjustment, or if it is not drilling as it should, please notify a staff member who will investigate the situation. If you think that the drill press sounds or feels odd as you're drilling, please contact a staff person. Significant safety concerns when using a drill press are the following. You must maintain control of the material you're drilling at all times. You should not let your fingers get too close to the drill bit. You should not force the handle. Let the drill bit and the press do the work. So, let's see these principles in action. When we drill using a drill press, install the drill bit, secure the material with a sacrificial piece underneath, set the depth stop if drilling holes of limited depth, adjust the table height, then drill the hole. After using the drill press, you should leave your work area clean. Remove the bit you used from the chuck and put it back in the bit storage area on the wall behind the press. Be careful, the bit is probably hot. Then vacuum the table area and the floor around the drill press. Additional adjustments may need to be made to the drill press if you're going to do unusual drilling operations. These adjustments should only be done by shop staff and might include adjusting the speed if large drill bits are used, adjusting the table angle if drilling angled holes, or pivoting the table if drilling long or large material. For some situations, jigs or fixtures can help to improve the speed, accuracy, or safety of the drilling that you need to do. A fence can be very helpful if you need to drill a row of holes that are the same distance from the edge of your material. To drill holes in a lot of similar or identical pieces of material, a fence with a stop or a locating jig will speed up positioning and improve consistency between multiple parts. See a shop staff member to help with setting up a jig. Drilling holes in a large piece of material or in material that is awkward to hold can be a challenge. In order to drill safely and accurately, the material needs to be held securely in whatever position lets the press and the drill bit function as they normally would. Confer with shop staff to ensure that your material is secure before drilling. In order to drill holes that are at an angle other than 90 degrees, it will be necessary to either tilt the table or use an angle cutting jig. Setup and material clamping are critical to safety for this process. The most efficient and safest approach will be driven by your material and what sort of drilling you need to do. If you think that what you need to do would benefit from the use of a jig or from a setup for drilling repeated holes, please ask a staff member for assistance. Thank you for watching the video, and we welcome you to visit us in the shop sometime soon.